This smells like smelly things.
It smells like a red airhead to me.
That's covered in alcohol, yeah. Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's an adult red airhead.
It's an adult
okay?
red
Do not
airhead.
feed this to your children. Yeah, that's exactly what this smells like to me. Potentially some purple airhead in here too.
Okay.
Also potentially some green, the watermelon airhead.
No, green is green apple.
No, it's watermelon. In airheads.
Oh, and Airheads. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of Jolly Rancher.
Yeah, that's what this is.
Okay.
I got my mind on airheads because the little loves airheads.
Yeah.
The little minis. And I want one right now.
Okay.
Or 5 right now.
Also,
but that's what this smells
if you're
like.
new here, I'm Erin.
I'm Josh.
And we're Stuff and Whiskey. Thanks for joining us.
Welcome to the channel.
Yeah.
I guess we are a channel, but you could almost... Yeah. We're not professionals. We're just hanging out.
We definitely are a channel, but
yeah,
we're also not professionals.
Yeah, we just like to hang out, have whiskey together.
I guess you could call us a channel.
We like to hang out. We like to have whiskey together with friends. That's what we're here to do.
Yep.
But there is some value in this for you as a viewer. We're going to smell and taste these and do it completely blind. We don't know what either one of these are. The first one smells like bourbon for sure, but they were poured from this pair of sample jars, which was paired up for some reason or another.
Yep.
But we're going to taste these, tell you which one we prefer, give them a rating, find out the price through a handy dandy key, and then see if we feel like they're worth the money. Then we'll find out what we're drinking.
Let's move on to 2. We've already talked about 1.
I was going to drink one.
Oh, you want to drink it?
Yeah. I want to go back to the old way where we just smell and taste one. Let's stop with the back and forth and all that.
Okay.
I'm ready to get into this.
Okay.
But yeah, it's fun. If you like this sort of content, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell. YouTube is throttling all that stuff down these days, so it really does help us if you do that.
Okay.
So, glass 1. Cheers. Wow.
That tastes good.
Yeah. She bourbon. Well, it tastes like bourbon.
I think so.
A lot of the traditional bourbon flavors are in here, but it also tastes like, it almost tastes like a carbonated beverage.
Yeah, I'm getting like a carbonated sensation.
That has grenadine in it.
Okay.
That's how cherry it tastes. Is grenadine cherry?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not getting any specific flavors though. I'm just getting like a sensation. Although I do have like a busted taste bud.
You got an old bum taste bud?
I don't know what happened. It's like inflamed or something and I can feel it. Maybe it's messing with my taste, but I feel like I have a sensation of carbonation even though it's obviously not carbonated. So
yeah,
there's that.
One sip in, this tastes like somebody put booze in the Shirley Temple.
Mmm. I could get a little purple in here.
Yeah.
Like it tastes like the color purple.
Yeah,
Not
like
grape, but
red,
purple.
Red, purple, artificial candy.
Maroon.
Yeah. Oh, their second sip, there's like a kind of a distinct bitterness that comes out.
Okay.
Like I call it a barrel note. It's like an oaky, like a bitter oak note.
Okay.
But not in a bad way. Kind of like how you would maybe have like a bitter element to coffee.
Oh,
but
yeah.
This doesn't taste anything like coffee, but how if you get a light roast coffee that has very fruity notes to it, but then it also, maybe there was a couple of over roasted beans in the mix or got burnt or something.
I think this smells good.
It almost has a little bit of that in there as well. It kind of reminds me of a specific distillery, but I'm not going to think that I know it and I'm not going to judge it based on that.
Okay.
But it is kind of hearkening back to a specific profile. But we'll talk about that more in a minute. I like glass 1 pretty good.
Yeah, I do too.
Good on the glass 2.
So glass 2 smells more purple than 1.
I'm not getting a lot off the nose of glass 2. It's pretty faint for me.
Really?
Yeah.
I am. I mean, it kind of smells similar, actually.
Yeah, it does smell similar, and I do feel you like a little bit more of the artificial purple, like the grape airhead rather than the cherry airhead.
Yeah, for sure.
And no watermelon airhead in this one.
No red, just purple.
Yeah, it feels in the same, like, candy fruity vein as glass 1.
Yeah, for sure.
But potentially, to me, more faint. Sounds like not to you.
About the same level of Faintness or not faintness.
And perhaps a slightly different flavor. So let's get it on the palate and see how it goes.
I drank it with my non-drinking whiskey hand.
Rookie mistake.
Tastes different that way. I gotta redo.
This is interesting. I don't know if I like this or not. I knew I liked the first glass immediately. Not the profile that I necessarily gravitate towards all the time, but I enjoyed it. There's something on this one that's like it's kind of a weird note in the mid palate.
I can't tell you why, but for me, the first thing that came into my head was like a cheap imitation of glass one. Like this feels like there have been, obviously there haven't been because that's against the rules and regulations of bourbon, but it tastes like there has been flavor added to this to try to make it taste like bourbon. To me.
Wow, this is interesting. I'm gonna say that I don't know about it being a cheaper version of glass one. It's definitely different. It has elements that typically on paper I would like more. I tend to like darker, richer. You know, I like my pours like my women, dark and rich.
Obviously.
but this is darker and richer, but somehow there's a note in here that I can't put my finger on. And look, we're not professional whiskey tasters, and flavor notes, we say this all the time, but I want to remind everyone, like flavor notes are just flavor notes. Like cherry can mean a bunch of different things. Right. Grape can mean a bunch of different things.
Well, and I think for whiskey specifically, flavor can be tied to like memories. So like what you interpret as cherry, someone else could interpret as something slightly different because of like their past and their history, their memories of what, you know, something else smells like.
Right. And look, if you're watching this, you're like, man, these whiskey notes, what in the world are they talking about? I feel the same way when I read like a cologne.
I literally feel that way right now. I don't even know what I'm talking about. Like, I'm just saying the things that come to my mind when I taste it. I don't know if it's right or wrong because it's my opinion, so I guess it's right.
But like if I look at cologne and they've got like top notes and whatever, and it's like, I don't know. I can't get like hibiscus and tonka bean. Like, I don't know what that means, you know? But through repetition, you can kind of piece together what they're saying. Like if something says tonka bean, I know it's going to be darker, richer, a little bit more savory. If it says lavender, I know it's going to be kind of florally.
Calming.
Yeah. You know, like use them as guideposts along the way. Yeah. But don't take them as gospel truth.
Okay.
Experience, though, is what we feel sets pours apart and makes them a little bit different.
100%.
And there's something about the experience on glass too that if I could tell you every single flavor note that I'm getting in here, I'm not that articulate, but if I could, it still wouldn't convey something that's not quite right in here for me from an experience standpoint. Okay. I think it might be like a little bit of sourness on the mid palate or something that's just throwing me for a little bit of a loop.
I will say there's a general roundedness to drinking glass 2. And I know that to some people that might not make sense, but it just like, it feels like a round, it's like, maybe it's more coating. Maybe that's what it is.
I don't know.
But like, this is so stupid and I really want to go get a piece of candy to demonstrate, but there's like the rounded off Jolly Ranchers that are kind of square, and then there's the block Jolly Ranchers. This feels like a rounded off Jolly Rancher. Okay. I know it sounds dumb. I need an illustration. I literally have a piece of candy in the kitchen that is making me think of this. Like there's no sharp edges on the mouthfeel of glass 2. I do like that, but there is kind of a sharp edge on the palate on the end.
Yes. Don't
like that.
Yeah.
So it's weird.
That, I took another sip of it, and that's what's throwing me on glass 2.
Yeah.
It is, you're saying roundness. To me, it feels a little spacious, but also hollow at the same time. Like it just.
I think we're trying to do too much. It's just whiskey.
No. It's an experience that's really hard to convey.
Yeah.
It's almost soft and light to me on the front of the palate, but then on the back of the palate, it gets a little sharp and ethanol-y in a way that tastes a little chemical. And it almost feels like I shouldn't be ingesting it. You know, like it's something that has that slightly chemical edge. Flags in my brain as a little bit more like poison, which, let's be honest, kind of what whiskey is. But
alcohol is legitimately a class 1 poison.
I know.
Or toxin.
I know. But I'm saying, like, it's flagging like something I shouldn't be ingesting necessarily. The problem is I think there's some good elements to it, and I do like the flavors that are there, but I just don't like the way they're coming across, which is really the simplest way to say everything I've been trying to put my finger on for the last few minutes. And thank you for sticking with us, but we roll uncut so you can see the whole process. That's it. There's something in the experience here that is just not quite right for me.
I might be coming around to glass 2. Glass 1 kind of tastes a little watery. Going back to it in comparison to glass 2. Glass 2 does feel like thicker. I still don't know if I'm in love with the flavor on either of these, but the experience that I'm having after taking some time. So initial impressions kind of give you your footing. They give you a barometer. And then I like to take my time with it. And as I've taken more time with these pours, my opinion on the pours have kind of flip-flopped. I think
Good point.
I think I might prefer glass 2 over glass 1 now that I've taken time with both of them. It's going to be a very slight preference. I am going to give them both a thumbs up, price dependent. I might change that. But I think the kind of roundedness that glass 2 has, I can overlook the kind of sharp edge on the back end because it's on the back end. And I feel like the finish,
Finish is big on glass 2.
I think glass 2 is proofy.
I think both of these might be more proofy than they seem to us.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm going to go with a glass 2 preference, but both get a thumbs up.
Okay. I'm going to go thumbs up on glass 1 and just okay on glass 2.
Okay.
This could be a day thing. We warmed our, full disclosure, I always like to say this when it makes sense. We warmed our palates up with Old Forester 1920 before this, just to taste something that we knew what that bottle tasted like on a couple different occasions. It tasted the exact same as it normally does, but it did hit with a little spice, which sometimes it doesn't do that for me. But I've taken some days off of sipping, so maybe my palate's just a little bit more sensitive to the proof and the heat in these.
Maybe.
Any given day. You could feel differently about a pour.
Again, this is for entertainment purposes only. This is not a scientific experiment. Thank you.
So you have a preference to glass 2.
Yeah.
Same rating of thumbs up.
Yep.
I have a preference to glass 1. I'm just liking that Spiked Shirley Temple vibe with the grenadine and the fizzy stuff in there. But let's find out price. Let's find out glass 1 first, number 52 in our key.
$100.
Yeah. That's about what I figured it would be, based on how it tastes.
Yeah.
Okay, what's the price on glass number 2, number 51?
$150.
Because the finish is so big on glass 2, I'm assuming that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't like the prices on that, but at the same time, I do understand that those are, in the world of whiskey, not astronomical prices.
Don't put it down. We need it.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I got to find out what it is. I always do that.
We've only been doing the channel for 5 years.
I know. I just
Every
sometimes get distracted, with my own thoughts.
All right.
But, okay.
How do you feel about the pricing?
I don't love it, but I don't think it's enough to make me change my rating.
Okay.
So I am going to stay thumbs up on both with still a preference to glass 2.
Okay. Interesting. All right. So thumbs up on both at 100 and 150 for you. Yeah. All right. I am going to...
how the times have changed.
I'm going to stay...
For me.
I'm going to stay the same.
Okay.
I'm going to stay thumbs up on glass 1.
Okay.
And I'm going to stay just okay on glass 2.
Okay.
Okay. And here's why. It's just... I'm staying true to how I feel today.
You don't have to explain yourself.
I'm tasting them, and I know what I feel like what I'm tasting. I can tell it's good.
Yeah.
But, it's hitting me a little off today.
Yeah,
and
that's fair.
that's probably me, as I've already mentioned.
But that's okay. Everyone has off days or days where it's not the same as yesterday.
Now that I know the pricing, I would like to hazard a guess on both of these bottles.
Okay, go for it. Before I see what they are.
Glass 1 is some batch of Stag Bourbon, and glass 2 is a George T. Stag. That is really not hitting me right tonight.
Okay.
Let's find out glass number 1, number 52 in our key.
You're close.
Okay.
You're not 100% right.
Okay.
But 52 is Stag 25A.
Oh, okay.
I don't know what that means, but that's what it is.
It's the first batch that was released in 2025 of Stag Bourbon.
Okay, so were you right? No, you said Stag Junior.
No, it's the same thing.
But there aren't. I thought Stag Junior doesn't exist anymore.
That 1 through 18 batches were Stag Junior, and then once it turned 18, they dropped the Junior. And
They just call it Stag.
and it's just Stag Bourbon Batch whatever.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then
It's the same
George
bottle,
T. Stag is like a step above.
That's Daddy
okay.
Stag.
Okay. So Stag 25A is 126.5 proof.
Yeah.
And then that bottle or the sample from a bottle is thanks to Justin Williams for the
Hey,
Stag.
Justin, thank you so much, man.
And then
I do like me some Stag.
51 is 2025 E.H. Taylor Barrel Proof. And that came out at 127.2 proof. And that is a sample thanks to Bill. And I'm going to think it says Bill and Delia Kavanaugh.
Yeah, it's got to say Bill and Delia.
But it cuts off.
Wow. Okay.
So you were close.
Let's unpack this real quick, and then we'll get out of here. We won't belabor the points too much.
Are you sure we won't? Because you like to do that.
Stag Junior, the Stag formerly known as Junior, is what I'm going to call it from now on. Because I get to still say Stag Junior, but I get to make everyone else happy that's like, it's not called Stag Junior anymore.
The Stag formerly known as Junior.
The Stag formerly known as Junior, 25A. I like it. Yeah, I've never tasted it before.
I liked it more initially than I did after some sips.
I've never called it cherry grenadine or a Shirley Temple before. Yeah. I've never gotten that vibe when I've tasted it. I haven't tasted it a ton, but I have tasted it a few times.
Okay.
I do like 25A, but we put $100 in there. I know retail's like 60 or 70, but in a lot of markets it gets sold for 150. Oh. We kind of split the difference on what we thought a decent price would be.
Okay.
Our ratings blind when I tasted it, I was like, this feels Buffalo Tracy.
Would I pay retail for this? 100%.
Yeah,
the 60 or 70, but that's probably never going to happen.
But if we find it at 100, we were both still thumbs up. Yeah. Having tasted it, we'd probably buy it. Should you go out and buy it for $100 or even $150? How much do you like spiked Shirley Temples? Maybe just go get a Shirley Temple and
put some booze in it.
Put some Buffalo Trace in there. Probably tastes very similar to Stag 25A. Maybe throw some corn whiskey in there that's like really high proof too to bring the proof up. Yeah. But or just a bunch of Buffalo Trace. E.H. Taylor Barrel Proof. Yeah. This was the 2025.
Yes.
Batch whatever. I don't know. I don't know all the E.H. Taylor batches. We've never owned a bottle of E.H. Taylor Barrel Proof.
Okay, hold on.
It's fine. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
We've already said it. You saw it on screen.
Yeah, they know.
Traditionally, I do like Stag, formerly known as Junior, more than E.H. Taylor Barrel Proofs.
I think that played out tonight.
Well, a lot of E.H. Taylor Barrel Proofs, I've given 2 thumbs up to in blinds. And I've also given 2 thumbs up to Stag, formerly known as Juniors, in blinds as well. Tonight, I could only go thumbs up on Stag 25A, and I was just okay on the E.H. Taylor Barrel Proof. And I like these pours. I like these bottles.
Right. Well, I think that goes to show the blind nature of things really does make it hard for you to pick things out. So if people are like, oh, how could you not know that was blah, blah, blah? Try it. If you haven't ever done blinds, try drinking things blind and see if you can guess what they are. And if you can, then maybe you should join some competition. So good on you.
Check out some Matt Madness over on ADHD Whiskey.
Yeah.
It's the best competition in all the whiskey land. But I will say, I've never owned a bottle of E.H. Taylor Barrel Proof. I don't really miss it. I mean, I would like to have one. I do like it every time I get to try it. But today it just hit me a little sideways. I just like the profile.
It's the way the cookie crumbles sometimes.
And I do think that neither of these kind of measure up to the glory days of each of these products, in my opinion. And I used to gravitate more towards both of these than George T. Stag. But in recent years, like really since like 2022, I think George T. Stag is really, it's come back into the premier product in the Buffalo Trace lineup. If you like bourbons that are, I'm trying not to be confusing to anybody that's newer to bourbon watching this, but a rye-based bourbon rather than a wheat-based bourbon. Okay. So corn is the first grain. The second grain is rye or wheat. Yeah.
In the weeds, and but this video is already long.
A lot of people like William LaRue Weller better than George T. Stag because it's a wheated bourbon, and a lot of people like wheated bourbons. We tend to prefer rye bourbons, and George T. Stag is like our favorite. It's my favorite product in the Buffalo Trace lineup. Yeah. But catch me 5 years ago, and I just said the Stag formerly known as Junior, when it was Stag Junior, was my favorite product in the lineup. So all this just goes to show you that your palates differ every day. Your preferences can even differ day to day. Yeah. have fun with whiskey. Don't take it so seriously. It's a good time.
Yeah.
Have it. It's up to you to have the good time.
That's true.
Also, if you're looking for a good time, call. No, I'm just kidding.
My gosh. 1-900. No.
Check out the...
Do those even exist anymore, 900 numbers?
I don't know. I mean, you go into a truck stop bathroom, you'll see some crazy stuff written on the wall.
Okay.
But if you want to have a good time in the whiskey space, check out our Patreon. It's linked in the video description below at the very top. Mm-hmm. You can get into our Discord tier over there and talk whiskey all day long on our Discord with myself and a bunch of other whiskey nerds. It's a great time.
Technically, I'm there too. I just don't talk about whiskey.
Only if you're tagged.
Only if I'm tagged.
Yeah, you have to summon her.
It's just too much whiskey talk for me.
And then if you can get to our barrel club, we're going to Buffalo Trace and we're picking a Blanton's barrel. That's going to be available to people soon. We're going to do some other picks, some Reveries picks, some Backbone picks. We got a ton of picks coming up. Great whiskey. Mm-hmm. We've got whiskey we've already picked that we're waiting on. We can basically be your whiskey personal shopper. So if you, like us, tend to like these types of pours, then you're probably going to like our barrel picks. Check those out. Or for as little as $1 a month, you can get plugged in on the supporting member tier, catch some additional live streams and some behind the scenes stuff. Yep. And it's a great time. Yeah, so check it out.
Absolutely. Thank you guys so much for watching today's video. Be good to each other, and until next time, cheers.
Cheers. I want to taste these now that I know what they are.
Okay, I feel like I've been hunched over. I need to, like, I don't know, fix my back.
You're the posture police. What is going on?
I don't think I've been hunched over, but for some reason I feel like I need to overcorrect. I don't know what's going on.
Just do the next video like this.
I'll just roll my shoulders
I'm
back.
correcting.
I'm overcorrecting my posture. I think because my feet weren't flat on the floor.
Rookie mistake.
My legs were crossed at the ankles.
Yeah. The secretary at my 7th and 8th grade school, Miss Sterry, God rest her soul. I don't know if she's dead. I'm just assuming she is. Okay. She was pretty old. Okay. Like the first person that I've ever met that was an actual hunchback. Like the back.
Let's not talk about.
No. But like the back of her neck, like back here, was like halfway up her head. Mm-hmm. Sometimes. But she wasn't that way when she was younger.
Right.
And I wonder if that's a posture thing.
As you age, your bones do things.
But is that a posture thing?
Maybe. Probably a combination of that and aging. Oh. She could have had scoliosis or like osteoporosis.
She was super nice. I loved Miss Sterry. But check this out. If it is a posture related thing, what about we're all like so many people are like this now? Are we all gonna be?
No, there's already a thing called tech neck.
Yeah, but what about the back?
Where people get like wrinkles sooner because they're like.
Ooh, interesting.
As an esthetician, I've learned about.
So we're all gonna have tech necks and hunchbacks in like 30 years.
Not if you don't do this all the time, and if you have good posture. Keep your shoulder aligned with like your hip bone, your shoulder bones, and connected to the hip bone.
I heard that.
So like a straight line going down.
Your knee bone's connected to your hip bone.
So just don't be like this.
But I like this. Feels comfortable.
But you actually need to hold on. How do I? That looks like you're overcorrecting.
Hi there. How are you today?
Okay.